Often in our designs, each tiny detail that we contemplated, even including into a page, is unnoticeable. At least it should be. What's important is your message. If somebody is so fixed on a piece of animation you used and misses the overall message before you move on to the next slide, something's wrong. Each small detail plays a part in a well thought out design, but it's okay if those details are forgotten. Let's dive into some tips for creating a coherent design that brings all of your elements together harmoniously. Perhaps the easiest way to group elements together is through the use of color. If multiple elements are the same color, your audience will view them as connected, and vice versa. Remember, you want to limit your color use anyway. If there's elements that should be connected in the mind of a viewer, make them the same color. Efficient use of space is another way to ensure a coherent design. Think of the Gestalt principle of closure. This states that if there is a break in an object of an image, we perceive the object as continuing in a smooth pattern. In other words, you don't necessarily have to have an entire object in the frame of a photo. Consider these examples. In the first photo, we have Lady Liberty practically in her entirety. She doesn't look bad, but when you read the text, you learn the message is only talking about her crown. Bring in the second image, which is better, but still not properly cropped. While we perceive the rest of the crown according to principle, it's not as impactful without the entire thing. Bring in the third image, which is just right. The crown takes precedence. We perceive the rest of the statue as it's one of the most iconic landmarks in the United States, and it all fits with the main message. An effective design indeed. Creating patterns from slide to slide is another great way to create a cohesive design. It's similar to creating a brand. Use the same colors, patterns, text, and designs for every piece of content so your brand is instantly recognizable. The same can be said moving from slide to slide in a presentation. This doesn't mean use the same background or images for every slide though. At the very least, you can invert colors or move information around. Maintaining a recognizable appearance will help your audience tie it all together. And lastly, one final way to help your audience understand how all of your information is paired together is through proximity. Elements that are paired together should be as close to one another as possible. Consider captions for pictures. Don't place captions away from that image. They belong as close to the image as possible so a viewer immediately makes the association without really much effort at all.